yesterday in the presentation that how there is unseen, right? But then that unseen personality who is behind all of these mysterious universes, right? When you talk about the creation of this universe, when you talk about the design of this universe, we saw very complicated, very intricate designs are there, right? Like if you see the Fibonacci numbers, right, and many other things we saw in the yesterday's presentation. So all of these very interesting phenomena that we see in this world, we saw the example of the coconut tree, right? That the water has gone up in the coconut tree without a motor or without a pump, right? So what is the cause for this is nature, right? No science, no scientist can explain this phenomena that how water can go up without a motor or a pump, right? In a coconut tree, right? And on top of that, water is there inside the hard coconut shell. So much water is there, right? So when we see all these phenomena existing around us, so many wonderful laws are governing this universe that we are all living in, right? So there are laws of physics, laws of thermodynamics, and we also saw towards the end that even in our life also, we saw that some people are born rich, some people are born poor, isn't it? Some people are born intelligent right from birth, some people are not so much, right? Some people are born, uh, you know, not so handsome, right? It's whereas other people are born very handsome, right? So we can see that even in our life, we see all these different you know different variations we see in our life, right? Some are being gifted right from their birth. So it is based on what, right? And who decides that, right? That somebody should be born in a rich family, somebody should not, right? So who decides that, right? So we saw that there is certainly a law there as well, right? It's not only there are laws in physics and laws of thermodynamics, right? There are laws even in our own personal life domains, and that law is called as a law of karma, right? So law of karma is responsible. We saw in yesterday's presentation, right? We saw karmana daiva netrena. The Vedic scriptures, they call out very clearly. The Bhagavad Gita also tells very clearly about these two. That law of karma is responsible, right? And we saw what is law of karma. Law of karma is nothing but what you have done in the past. The history repeats, right? Or what you have done in the past. As you sow, so shall you reap. Right? That is a law of karma. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So the way you act, right, it gets accumulated in the bank account, right? So that later on, it comes back to you like that. So that is a law of karma that acts on each and every one of us. So in our life, when we see, all this, some people are suffering, some people are very happy, right? It is all because of the law of karma, right? And then we could conclude that how we may not be able to see the hand of that supreme intelligent designer or creator, right? Or the organizer or the designer, right, who has designed this very interestingly, this whole universe. So we may not be able to see the hand of that designer, but yes, we can understand the way how it functions so well, right? Without any complications, and with so preciseness, these laws are governing this world, right? And we saw the example of Isaac Newton also, right? So yes, there is truth certainly lies, right, which we may not be able to access through our eyes, right? I'll give you a very simple example. Like you see this, like you see a computer, right? In computer, when we want to open a file, but it is said, access denied, right? Why it is said access denied? Because the password you have entered is the incorrect password, right? So you don't have, and that's what is a topic for our today's discussion. That how can we access the truth? How can we see God, right? We could conclude in yesterday's presentation. Krishna says very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, without any ambiguity. We saw that beautiful shloka. Matta parataram nanya kinchit asti dhananjaya mahi sarvam idam purotam sutre mani ganaiva. So we can see that our ancient Vedic wisdom, the Bhagavad Gita, very clearly says, right, that who is behind, who is this hand, right? This hand is nothing but the hand of God, right? Who is the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality. So in today's now presentation going forward, how can I access or how can we access the truth right? Beyond, you see, there is this four defects. So in today's presentation, we will try to figure it out, right? That how to, go beyond, or how to access the truth, right? Beyond the four defects. This is the summary for today's presentation, right? So we will see, a short story in the beginning, and then there are three ways to gain knowledge that we will see. We will see the four defects, lead to imperfect knowledge, and then we will see scientific research due to four defects that has resulted in mistakes, right, leading to disasters actually because of these four defects, right? And at last, we will conclude with how Vedas they offer perfect and complete solution to us, right? So to begin with, I will, like to show you a video, a very interesting video. See if you are all able to see my screen. Give me a moment. So I hope you are able to watch the video, right? So you saw in this video, right, that this teddy bear, right, this person was trying to access this machine, isn't it? And probably, because he don't know how to use this machine, right? And that's how, is the cause what we all saw, that he was so frustrated, right? He was trying to press different buttons, right? He was trying to access the machine, but then because of his ignorance, right, he suffered, right? So that is what is topic for our today's discussion, that how can we access, right? How can we access this universe around us also? How can we access the truth, right? What stops us from accessing that? Okay, so let's begin with this very interesting story. I'm sure you all might have heard this in your childhood, right? This is a story of a six blind men and one wise man story, right? So once upon a time, there was this six blind men, right? They were all trying to sense and touch this object, right, which appears in front of them suddenly, you and me can all see, right, that this object is nothing but an elephant. But these are all six blind men. They couldn't understand what is this object, and they are trying to figure it out. What is this all object all about, right? So all the six different people, they all got aligned in different parts of this object, right? And the first person, he started touching the trunk of the elephant. And the first person, when he touched the trunk of the elephant, he started visualizing, because the trunk of the elephant is curved, right? So he started visualizing it as a snake, right? The second person similarly was touching at the back. He was touching the tail of the elephant, right? When he was touching the tail of the elephant, he started visualizing it as a rope, right? Like that, all of these six different people, they all started visualizing differently. The person, one person started visualizing it who was standing at the leg. He started visualizing it as a trunk of a tree, right? The person who was touching the stomach of the elephant started visualizing it as a wall, right? The person who is touching the tusk of the elephant, जो दांतों को हाथ लगा रहा है, he started visualizing it as an arrow, right? Like that, we can see that all of these six different people started, giving their own explanation about what is this object all about, right? Seeing the situation, one wise man who was passing by the street, he saw that all of these people, they are all struggling, trying to figure it out. What is this object all about, right? So in there, when this wise man saw their stage, that state, that how they are so much in confusion, he thought of guiding them. He thought of giving them advice and giving them this vision to see actually what is this object all about. So a question to all of you, right? That what you see here, right? Let me ask you a question, a simple question, right? Maybe if the host can, maybe the organizers can, unmute them, right? And I would like to take their opinion, right? That I would like to, take their opinion as to, were they actually incorrect in their understanding? What do you think? Anything, Mandar or Manoj? Were these six blind men who were giving different conclusions, were they actually incorrect in their understanding?
You can text also if you want. You can text in chat box.
Okay, no problem. Right, we'll go ahead. So these people, right, they were not incomplete, right? I mean, they were not incorrect in their understanding. They were correct, because as per their perception, this is what they are able to understand. But in their approach, they were not complete, right? They were incomplete in their understanding. So they were correct in their understanding, but they were not complete in their understanding, right? And that is something very interesting for all of us to learn, right? That if we want to know the perfect truth, right, then we have to ask a person who knows the truth, isn't it? To get the complete knowledge, right? Like for example, like a friend is going, right, to one another's friend's house, say in Akola or any other place, right, first time. So, what he will tell, he will tell that, okay, this hotel is there, Hotel Taj is there in Akola, and this and that, so this person will think that, Arey, I don't know, only because I am going for the first time, right? So then the next friend understands that, oh, you are coming for the first time and you don't know anything, right? So let me help you out, right? So I have to learn from a person who is in knowledge, right? Who is in knowledge of the whole place, right? So that he can guide me better, isn't it? Similarly, right, a great lesson to be learned from this story that I have put up on the screen is that we all are this, six blind men are nothing but we all of us, right? we are all also blinded like the six blind men. Of course, we are not blinded physically, right? You may say that, oh, I can see, right? So we are not blinded physically, I would say, right? But we are all blinded, right? We are all blinded spiritually, isn't it? We are all blinded, to see the fact. We are all blinded to access the truth, right? So because we cannot access, right, the ultimate truth, reality, we cannot see with our this mundane eyes, right? We cannot understand, right, the spiritual knowledge, right? We cannot access that truth in all of our lives, right? So in that sense, we are all incomplete in our understanding, right? Okay, I hope that makes sense to all of you. Yeah. Okay, so then what to do now, right? Because we don't have complete understanding, right? Especially we are on a search. From yesterday's presentation, we are on a search to actually figure it out that if God exists, right? If there is a hand of God behind this mysterious universe around us, how can I access that God, right? How can I find a way to see God, right? And that is the most amazing part of our discussion today. So there are three ways of gaining any knowledge. Not only that we are trying to understand this universe around us, but there are three ways of gaining any knowledge. The first that you see on the screen is called as a pratyaksh praman, right? Which is called also as direct perception. The second is called as anuman praman, which is also called as the theory of assumptions, right? Where you try to assume things. And third is Shabda Praman, right? Which is to hear, right? Or to listen from somebody who is experienced, right? Okay, great. Let's see one by one. So first you will see Pratyaksh Praman, right? That is a direct perception, right? So I'm going to show you some 4 images on the screen. You see this apparent meeting of the railway tracks, right? So it looks like that the rail tracks are converging at a distance, isn't it? But is it so? No, right? The railway tracks are not getting converged, right? Although I may look at, as converging, but actually they are not getting converged. Similarly, there is, if you put a stick in the water, we all know now that it is because of the refraction, isn't it? But the point is, why am I not seeing it correctly, the stick, right? Yes, it may be because of refraction, but the point that I am trying to put out in front of all of our discussion is why am I limited in my vision, right, to see that stick, as something broken in the water, isn't it? So yes, it is because of refraction, but why am I limited, right? That means there is limitation, isn't it? The point is about the limitation of our senses to observe everything around us, right? Also, we see a mirage, right? It's a reflection. We all know that, right? It reflects on the road in the summer seasons and all, right? Okay, and even in mirrors, right? The concave, the convex mirrors, right? We all see those inverted images or irregular images, right? So the point is seeing believing, because that is what it is all around us, right? People say that seeing is believing. If seeing was believing, then why are we not able to see properly all of these 4 different aspects, all of these 4 different things in our life very properly with our own senses, with our own perception, right? Why are we not seeing it properly? That goes to show that seeing is not believing, right? Because there are many things that we see, right, as merging at a distance, or as broken like the stick, or the reflection like a water, or some irregular images, but still we believe, right? So we cannot acquire, that means, complete knowledge using our material senses like eyes, ears, etc., right? Why we cannot acquire? Because we all have these 4 defects, yes, which stops us to access the truth, right? And in science, such things have happened, rampantly, right? And it's even happening now, right? That the information in theories in science are being changed, updated, and modified, right? So many times. We all know about how science started, right? Initially, there was this, uh, you know, we all know about the Dalton atomic theory, right? So, later on, another scientist came, the Rutherford, right? So he said, no, it's not atoms, right? It's actually, there is a whole structure is there, right? So he actually chalked out his, you know, what is called as a nuclear science, right? So this Rutherford put out, this whole nuclear theory, and then we know that after some time that also got changed and modified, right, and updated, right? And next came was this Bohr theory, right? We know that in science, if you see, such things have happened, so many times, right? Why it is happening, right? If everything is perfect, right? Why they have to change it? Why they have to update it? Right? That means they are not perfect, right? They are imperfect. So we all have these four defects because of which the science has kept on changing, has kept on updating, right? The first thing that we all have, right? All human beings, they have the four defects, and that is the first thing is that we all have imperfect senses, right? Because of which we are only able to see the Vibgyor region, right? The visible light. We are not able to see the ultraviolet. We are not able to see the infrared, right? The second defect that we all have is that because of that imperfection in our senses, we become illusioned, right? I don't know whether could you see that video, that we had posted to all of you on the WhatsApp. It's about it's a very nice video about illusion, right? And what you see is actually not, right? In case if you have not yet watched, please watch it. It's a very very nice video, right? It's about illusion, that how our eyes are really, it creates so much illusion, right? We think the rope as a snake, or we think the snake as rope, right? That is called as illusion, right? And because of that illusion, right, we tend to commit mistakes, right? And when we tend to commit mistakes, and then what happens next is we all are aware, right? We all have this tendency to cheat or to hide what are our mistakes, right? We don't want to be, get revealed. Right? So we cannot hear more than 20 kilohertz and less than 20 hertz, right? We all know that. But there are many other animals who are better than us, right? And who has the abilities and capacities to hear, right? The infrasounds and the ultrasounds as well. But the human beings, cannot hear that, right? So this is one scientist, because okay, you can say that okay, we have imperfect senses, but scientists, they say that okay, if we have limitations in our senses, right? So they say that okay, we will try to use instruments then, right? To get more knowledge of the world. Right? So they say that okay, if our eyes has limitation, let us not use our eyes directly. Let us take help, right, of the telescopes. Right? Let us take help of the microscopes, right, to visualize. One such scientist named Eugene Wiener points out very interesting phenomena. Look, he says that even if we photograph stars with the help of telescope, right? He says eventually we will have to take in by our senses, right? What the photo shows, right? And he says furthermore, without our senses, we cannot handle a camera also, right? Because हाथों का जरूरत पड़ता है, right? To handle a camera, right? तो अगर आप हाथ यूज नहीं करोगे, आंख यूज नहीं करोगे, तो पिक्चर कैसे लोगे आप, isn't it? So he says that although scientists, they claim that okay, we will use the best of the telescopes and the best of the microscopes, right, to observe everything around us, but then he said very interesting thing, that even if we amplify or refine by instruments, the knowledge is no more perfect than our imperfect senses, right? Because after all, who is reading, right? Reading to hum hi le rahe hai na, right? Although we are using the scientific instruments, but who is taking the reading? Who is, after all analyzing the data, right? Is our own eyes, and our eyes are limited. We just now discussed, right? And we are using our hands also, right? That our eyes and hands can do that, right? My point is one more step ahead. Who created the instruments? Right? The scientific instruments that we are using, the telescope, the microscope, who has created that, right? Even those are being created by humans, right? the camera, the telescope, microscope, right? Who has created that? Even that is created by humans. So if that is created by humans, so again errors will be there, right? So we cannot avoid the errors. We cannot avoid the imperfection. Imperfection will always be there, right? And because of it, that imperfection, we become illusioned, right? I'll show you some pictures, very interesting pictures, right? And again, in case if you can put out on a chat box, or if you want, you can tell me also in person. We can unmute you in case you want to say something. You can raise your hand, right? So what you see in this picture is is an old lady, right? If you can see that, right? I don't know how many of you can see the old lady in the picture. In case if you somebody may see as a young lady also, right? And it's actually true because this picture carries two ladies in the same image, right? One is a old lady and another is a young lady actually, right? Can you just see once again that if you can see both the ladies in the same picture, the old lady and the young lady, right?
Only young lady. Where is old lady?
Okay, good. So yes, the young lady, she is watching on the other side, if you could see properly, right? And the ears of the young lady, right, is nothing but the eyes of the old lady, right? And the chin of the young lady, the backside of the chin of the young lady is nothing but the nose of the old lady, right? I hope you are able to see now, right? The old lady and the young lady both, right, in the image. What do you see now in this image, right, is all these three Pac-Mans, right? Right. So these are all being cutted, right? In the same degrees, right? They are being cutted in such a fashion. They are being cutted that what do you see in the images? Maybe I would like to be little interactive in case if you can tell that what do you see in this image. Okay, do you see a white triangle in this image? Yes. What else you see in this image? Do you also see all these three balls being cutted up, right? The Pac-Mans. So, but then let me tell you that there is no white triangle actually, right, in the image. But it appears to us that there is a white triangle, right? Right? Interesting, right? There is actually no white triangle in the image, but it appears to our eyes, and because of this imperfection, right? So actually there is no white triangle, but because they all these three objects are being kept, and so it looks to us that there is a white triangle. Similarly, right? Even if you see in galaxies and universes around us, right? Sometimes the scientists they claim that okay, there was a Pluto planet, right? And sometimes they say, oh no, no, sorry, sorry, there was no Pluto planet, right? And so sometimes they include, some other planets also. Sometimes they exclude also, many of the planets, telling that oh no, I am sorry, right? So it is something like this only, right? That you see a white triangle, but actually there is no white triangle, right? So because we have this limited senses, we have imperfect senses. Right. What you see in this image is a pretty clear one, right? I hope you are all able to see the old lady and the the old woman and the old man, right? And in the eyes of the old man, you could be able to see, a person who is playing guitar, right, with a hat. And again, in the eyes of the old lady, the face of the old lady, right, you will be able to see a young lady, right, with a hat. And in the ears also you could see, right, the woman who is swinging, right? Okay. And you see also a golden pot at the back, right? So in one image only, so many images are there, right? Isn't it? Okay, there are many images like that. Look at this image, right? Right? Do you see, three cylinders? Yeah. And also, at a time you will see that, at least one cylinder keeps on moving, right? And by the time you move your eyes to that cylinder, you will see an amazing phenomena. And that is that cylinder stops moving and some, other cylinder starts moving, right? How it is so, right? So that is because of our imperfect senses that we become illusioned, right? Actually, nothing is moving, but the objects are placed in such a way that it appears to us as moving, right? Same in this image, right? So none of these stars are moving actually. The flower petals that you see arranged, the star, but then our eyes appears, right? As soon as you start looking at one, you you start sensing that some other star is moving, right? But actually nothing is moving. Again, it's an illusion. So we have so much faith on our eyes, right? That yes, I can see everything. Why can't I see God also, right? How boldly we try to claim that also, right? So why can't I see everything around us? But we can't see many things. Right? Yeah. So believe it or not, these guys are all of same height, right? Okay, this is also a very interesting photo, right? So you keep your head moving to and fro, right? Going backwards and forward, right? In case if you are watching on your mobile or in case if you are on laptops, just keep, moving your heads and watch the center of the circle, and you will see that, probably the inner circle is moving in an anti-clockwise direction and the outer circle will start moving in a clockwise direction. But when you keep your head straight, intact, surprisingly nothing is moving, right? So that is what is called as illusion, right? Okay. And because of this illusion, what happens is we tend to commit mistakes, right? And in science, widely incorrect mistakes have happened. Like previously, scientists were thinking that our brain, right, is nothing but a just like a air conditioner, or it's like a cooling, some cooling machine or something. That is the only function of the brain. That was what scientists were thinking. But then they were so widely incorrect, right? Later on, they found that the brain is not something as a cooling agent only. It's the most important organ, right? To cool the blood, actually, right? Not to cool the blood, but actually to make the whole system living and everything, right? Without the brain, we cannot live, actually, right? So the brain is the most important organ of the body. So widely incorrect accounts have been done, in science. So these pituitary glands or master glands, right? So previously they were thinking that pituitary glands is a vestige, right, or a useless tissue in a human body. But later on they came to know that it is these pituitary glands are also called as master glands actually, right? If you remove pituitary glands, then all these glands, endocrine glands and many glands are there in our body, right? So they will all stop functioning, right? So there are many things, right? Small mistakes that can lead to large disasters. Best example that comes to my mind is the bubonic plague, right? The bubonic plague that happened, somewhere and that was one of the most massive plague, right? What we are currently suffering now with this corona, right? The COVID-19, right? The massive pandemic, right? The Asian flu that happened in 1956 somewhere, right? So many such flus have happened. Many such plagues have happened. One such plague happened was the bubonic plague, right? And this bubonic plague, when it happened, what happened was uh, because they had so much faith on scientists, right? The government and all. So the government they asked for some advice or some solutions, and the scientists wildly incorrectly, without thinking much, because of their imperfection and because of their illusion, they said that this problem of bubonic plague is spreading, because the problem is, is all the cats in the country should be killed. If all the cats are killed, then this plague can be stopped completely, right? So, taking their advice, right? They all killed all the cats in the whole country only, right? Everywhere, wherever they could see the cats, right? And guess what would happen is, right? The plague started increasing many folds, right? Triple हो गया, double, triple rate से फैलने लगा, right? Why? Because, can you guess why? What could be the reason for that? Because the plague is not spread by the cats, but it gets spread by the rats actually, right? And now guess what would be the next situation for everyone, right? अभी बिल्ली को तो आपने बंदूक से उड़ा दिया, राइट? अभी चूहे को कैसे बंदूक से उड़ाएंगे, राइट? So by the time you aim the rat, the rat will go almost half a kilometer away, right? So that's how the problem became more worst, right? So small mistakes can lead to large disasters. Right? And because of that, what happens is, because of the mistakes, then comes the cheating propensity. We tend to hide, right? And the best example that comes is the pill down man, right? So all this, this missing links and all those connecting links, right? If you see the whole Darwin's theory, right, the pill down theory, and it was all hoax actually, right? So it was being revealed as fraud, right? So it was revealed as fraud because it was a human skull. All this Darwin's theory that we all have studied, I guess, right, in all of our science and history textbooks. And the Neanderthal man, the Stone Age man, the Homo sapiens sapiens, right, and so on. So all these were being, revealed as fraud in 1953 only, right? So they said that it was a human skull, right, and these skulls were being filed actually, right, to appear like an ape, to appear like a monkey, but actually it is not monkey or a ape. It is just a human skull, right? Okay, so we can see that how this Darwin's theory, right? All this is nothing but you know uh, it's nothing but a cheating propensity only, right? So they try to hide this very thing that it's a human skull, and they actually find it, right? The next, ways of gaining knowledge. So that was the Pratyaksh Praman that we saw. So because direct perception, because we are using our senses directly, right, in trying to observe and understand the phenomena in this world. And because of that, because we are using our senses and our senses are limited or our senses are imperfect, right? And because of which we are unable to capture all the information, right? So we have imperfect senses. We are, tend to become illusioned because of that. And what happens by illusion is we tend to commit mistakes, right? And when we have committed mistake, the fourth thing happens is we tend to cheat, right? So that's not a very perfect way, right, to help us to understand, or to access the ultimate truth, right, or to access God, right, in our life. So what is the next way? So science, there is another way to understand anything, and that is called as Anuman Praman. It is theories based on observation, right? Like they say, like in science, this is how it starts with, right? That it may have been like this, or perhaps it was like this, right? This is what this is a language that we are all as engineers, and we are all very used to, right? These kind of languages, right? That perhaps it may have been like this. Right? So again, the Darwin's theory is nothing but the whole Anuman Praman only. It's just based on speculation, right? So Darwin himself says in one of his letters, he says, "I am a firm believer that without speculation there is no good and original observation." And he says, after 5 years work, I allowed myself to speculate. Right? He himself says that he has speculated on the subject. Right? So in his Origin of Species, he says that this theory is really a speculation. Because one such theory, if you read, right, actually two such theories. He himself says in his Origin of Species that how the polar bear that you see in the picture, how it got transformed into a whale. So he says the polar bear started fasting and started searching for the fishes in the ocean. And in his search, the polar bear opened his mouth and started going deep inside the ocean to catch the fish, right? So he thought of changing, right? Started from, he could have eaten some grass or something, but then he thought that no, I cannot survive. So the polar bear started, going in the ocean, spreading his mouth wide open, and then he started approaching. And one final day, nobody could see the polar bear. Right? This is what Darwin's theory says. Right? And then he said what we could see was only the whale was existing. So probably, right? Again, probably, right? Quote unquote, probably, right? Or perhaps the bear got transformed or got evolved, into a whale, right? And that is what Darwin's theory. Rather than theory or rather than science or logic, it looks like a fairy tale, right? So yeah, I mean another theory he says about how the deer started stretching their necks to eat the fruit on top of a tree. So the deer generally will the grass and things like that, right? That is how this creation is being created by the creator, by the super intelligent, God, right? But then the deer, started accessing, or the deer said that no, better is for me to start eating the fruits on the top of the tree, right? And in that, the deer started stretching, the neck, and so much so that one final day, they said that the deer, was not visible, and only thing was visible was the camels, right? And probably or perhaps the deer would have evolved into a camel. Right? And again, rather than science or logic, right, looks like a fairy tale, right? So that is called as Anuman Praman, that you are not sure of, you are just speculating it, right? How could it be possible, right? It's not science, right? So even if you go on the screen that you see, even if you go millions of years down in the, in the strata, in the rock strata, right, we can find fossils, right? So even if you go thousands and millions of years ago, still you will find all the fossils of apes and the man, the fossils are there, found, of both the apes or the monkeys and the man. It's not that only monkeys were found when you go down, in the strata, or if you go down in the number of years, right? So we can see that how, because Darwin said that, right? That previously, everything was apes only, right? So if Darwin's theory was true, then that means 1 million years ago or 2 million years ago or 1 lakh years ago, whatever, there would be only fossils of apes, possible, right? But then we don't find that. We find the fossils of humans and the fossils of apes both existing at the same time, and that's how uh, it is disproven, right? Darwin's theory. So what is the problem with making mistakes in research, right? So half knowledge is dangerous, right? And science has been doing that, right? And many times scientists have cheated us, and it has given incorrect, wildly incorrect, judgments and wildly incorrect, research, because of which we have to suffer many times. Right? So the problem with making mistakes in research is that we have to suffer later, like anything, right? So like they said that Bisleri bottle at one point of time they said it's the most convenient substitute for a glass bottle, right? And later on they found that it's not true, right? Where is glass and where is Bisleri, right? So water stored in a Bisleri bottle for 6 months turns poisonous actually, right? Mobile phones, if you use close to years, has proved to be health hazardous actually. Yeah. So it can cause damage to brain if used for a prolonged period of time, and creates heart problems if kept in the shirt pocket, right? People can become impotent if kept in pant pocket. Right? So what to do, right? So what to do, right? So at one point of time, mobiles, they thought that it's one of the most nice technology, right? And there are no health hazards. But later on, they found that it's not true, right? Then they thought that okay, probably we'll keep the phone, on the down pocket, right, near the knees. But then, the phone call can't be heard, right? It may become a missed call. And the third one I had already explained, right? It is about bubonic plague. So you can even Google it out. It was one of the huge, massive plague, right, epidemic that had occurred, right? It's almost in 1300s, right? And practically the whole, Europe was, being captured by that, right? It was much bigger than what we see now, Corona also. Of course, the Corona has spread to now many countries. It was not the case with bubonic plague, right? But in practically the whole Europe was under it, and many people died. Right? Many millions of people they died actually. The bubonic plague. You can just research it and find it on Google. Right? So half knowledge is a dangerous thing, right? So that is what is the problem, right? So the scientists they understand only to some level, and then they speculate it, right? And that's the problem. Right? So the solution for one problem becomes another bigger problem, right? Like you see these modern days, we have all have created ways, the highways, and so much pollution and so much gadgets like laptops, smartphones, right? So we thought of that okay, probably this solution will help us to solve one problem, but rather that solution becomes another bigger problem, right? So people are getting more frustrated now, right? And that is what you can see that on internet and everywhere, right? The more concern is now how to stop people watching pornographies, how to stop people, right, getting addicted to the smartphones and everything, right? Half knowledge is dangerous. We need full absolute knowledge, right? The man thought that he can be happy without God if only he has money and comforts, right? That's not the case, right? So where is happiness, right? There is no happiness around, right? People are committing suicides, right? The ultimate frustration level they come to, right? We can never obtain complete knowledge by Pratyaksha or Anuman Praman, right? So I have already shown you this video, right? That is dangerous to operate a machine with half knowledge, right? And in the beginning we saw this video, right? That how it is dangerous to manipulate. Similarly, the universal cosmic machine also that we are all living in, right? And our body is also like a machine only, isn't it? Right? So it's a beautiful machine, right? We all have one of the most complex organs in our body, the eyes, the brain, right? Without knowing about it, right, from the creator who created it, right? We can never operate a machine very properly, isn't it? Like you see any machine, when you operate a machine, what is the best way you can learn about a machine? Like you saw in the beginning this video that this person was trying to, tick on or click on, any buttons in the machine without knowing that what this button is meant, right? And then, he went into such a miserable state, right? Such a miserable situation. Right? So the best thing, that he could have done is, there are many ways, but one of the most, most perfect ways would be what? Would be to access the manual, isn't it? Every machine, has a manual, right? The manufacturer publishes the manual, right? Isn't it? So when you take a mobile phone or when we take a refrigerator, right? Rather than pressing any button on the fridge or refrigerator, right? We could actually understand the manual that what is this button meant for, right? What happens if I press this button, right? Probably we could save a lot of our time in trying to understand that machine, and we will save our own lives also, right? Because if we not handle it with care, and if we try to manipulate, right, the machines that we are using, right? So this universal cosmic machine also that we are all living in this world, this universe, right? So our body is also a machine, right? If we don't use very properly, right, then it is very dangerous, right? It's very harmful. Okay, hope that makes sense. So where is the manual that can explain the operations of this cosmic machine? Yes, if we can get it, then we have the happiness, right? So where is that key? Right? Where is that manual that can explain the operation of this universe that is existing, right? So Pratyaksh Raman, Nanan Raman they are incapable in trying to access the truth, right? Beyond the four defects. Right? So we have imperfect senses, right? Leads to illusion, and due to which we commit mistakes, and then we try to hide the mistakes. So, and that is the third, praman, or the third way of gaining knowledge, and that is called as Shabda Praman, right? So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarsayo viduho sakalane hamhata yogo nashtha parantapa. So Krishna says here in this shloka, fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, second shloka, Krishna says to Arjuna, right, that the best way of gaining knowledge, is to learn from somebody who is an expert teacher. Right? So Krishna tells to Arjuna that how he has given this knowledge, right, many years back to the sun god Vivaswan. Right? So Krishna says to Arjuna, and he emphasizes on this hearing from a teacher, from bona fide teacher rather. Yeah? So how can a child know that? It's a very simple question, right? So what the modern scientists will tell, right? The best way to know that if a child has this question that who is his father, the modern science will say, okay, if you have a question that who is his father, the science will tell that okay, we'll check your genes and tell you who your father is, right? Isn't it? A medical test, right? The genetic fingerprint, right? That will take 800 years. Right? And then also we will get likely some 200 men, and one of whom is likely to be our father. 800 years, you will have to wait. Isn't it? Right? So 800 years, can you imagine? By the time we will be dead, we ourselves will be dead, right? The doctors, the whole pathological lab where we are doing that test, everything will be finished off, isn't it? So that is called as inductive knowledge, right? So modern science, they believe in that inductive knowledge, right? But then that's not, very helpful always, isn't it? Yes, it can be helpful in certain domains, right, of our life. But then when we are trying to access the ultimate truth, right, when we are trying to access something, right, which the modern science cannot help us, right, we need something else, right? And that is a Shabda Praman, right? What is the best way for a child now in this situation to find it out that who is his father, right? What do you think? And the question comes back to us again, right? What is the best way for a child to know who is his father, right? I think this is the best way, right? Just ask your mother, right? And know who your father is, right? And that's it. That is called a deductive knowledge, right? That you ask someone who knows that, right? Rather than you speculating, or rather than we ourselves trying to analyze and figure it out. So who is our mother actually? So Vedas are like our mother, father, right? So God is our supreme father. So Vedas can give us God knowledge, not just general knowledge, right? So Vedas are nothing, right? They help us, right, to tell us that where is the authorized college, right? It is also called as parampara or sampradaya, right? Where we can understand this knowledge of Vedas, right? So there are professors in the Vedic, the authorized college, right? So one who has heard from him. And there are authorized books like the Vedic text like Bhagavad Gita, right? Which helps us to understand this knowledge, right? and that is what is Shabda Praman. The Shabda Praman is nothing but ultimate truth. So it's given out in the Vedas. Understand, the universe around us. They help us to gain a higher understanding about our own selves. Who am I? Right? Am I this body? Am I the mind? Or am I the spirit soul? Right? So in the next session, we are going to understand. So yes, I cannot, but then yes, I can understand. I can understand about him, right? I don't have the capacity, right, to understand about the supreme intelligent designer, the supreme creator, right? My eyes are limited. I cannot directly see him. Just like if I want to say that, okay, I want to meet the prime minister. I want to see him now in front of my own eyes. I want to see Narendra Modi. Will I be able to see? No, right? I may not be able to. I cannot demand, right? I have to ask this question to myself: am I eligible to see Narendra Modi as of now, or am I? That is a question to be asked. So similarly, when it comes to the reality of understanding about the supreme intelligent designer, the creator around us, right? Who is God? As Krishna says very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, we saw that in the yesterday's session, right? So, but then I can understand, about Narendra Modi. I can understand about, the president by watching it on television or by hearing from someone who has seen the president, who has seen, right, the prime minister, isn't it? And then we can also have faith, right? So similarly, the Vedas, they help us to understand, right, about that supreme intelligent creator and that supreme intelligent being, right? The Vedas helps us to understand, right, in that way. Okay, I hope you're all able to understand. In brief, we all understood about these things. Right? So the Vedas offer and the scientific research due to the four defects has resulted in mistakes, right, leading to disasters, right? So the four defects that every human being has them, and hence this Vedas. Somebody may say that who has written the Vedas, right? The Vedas have been written, by the literary incarnation of Krishna, right? The manufacturer himself, right, has came and given out this manual, right? As we are talking about the manual for the machine, so similarly, these Vedas are also given by the manufacturer, right? If the manufacturer gives the manual, that is what makes sense, right? You and me cannot produce a manual, right? So that will be a very defective one, right? And we don't know whether that will really work or no, right? So the Vedas, right, they have been given by the manufacturer, right? They have been, given by Krishna himself, right? So that could, have the best possible solutions, how we can access, how we can become actually happy. I thank you all very much for joining for today's session. Right? In case if you have any questions or clarifications, you can please ask.
Thank you very much, Sarath sir, for taking your precious time from your busy schedule to share this knowledge and deep wisdom. And we learned today how we cannot understand the complete knowledge through our limited senses due to four defects by Pratyaksha and Anuman Praman, but Shabda Praman, that is Vedas, offers us perfect knowledge. So thank you everyone for this meeting, webinar. And if anybody has questions, they can ask.
Okay, so we'll all also, take out the quiz, right, which you all can solve, right? So, that will help you all to, get understanding about today's session. Thank you all very much. Hope to see you, for our next webinar, which we will try to understand about of meditation that we will try to see in the next session. Thank you all very much.